Good evening. I have a strange case of sunflower wilt, and I'm not sure what it is. I think they might need some more fertilizer, but I also have a suspicion that bugs are getting into them. Doesn't that look like tunneling to you? Something fun that's happened though is my marigold, one of them that I transplanted outside, dropped a seed, and now there's a second marigold. I feel like I'm getting a ton of tomatoes too. This sunflower is absolutely gigantic. My ever-growing pile of beans back here. Now the most important, most overstated, and probably most avoided strawberry task is to clear out the dirt that may be covering that little bit of stem before it goes into all the stems. So like there's the roots of the strawberry, and then there's this section which they call the crown, and it's very important that you uncover that. If you live in a hot climate, remember to water your strawberries because quite a few of mine have died out because it is just way too hot for them. You can also place them in a bit more of a shady place in the summertime, but for me, I'm going to just buy brand new strawberries, and I don't buy actual plants that are started. I buy bare root strawberries, so they're cheaper. This bean right here behind me is totally taking off. I think I need to reattach it to something else, or I can just trellis it along the fence here. And you won't necessarily realize when you should be uncovering the crown of the strawberry plant. Like the plant will take a long time to produce symptoms of, I think it gets root rot mainly, but it just does not like to be buried. But whenever you water, the soil kind of rearranges itself, especially because I have a lot of sandy soil. So really it should be a near daily task. I don't get to it every day, but I mean, ideally, that'd be nice. It'd be good to do that. It really makes a difference with strawberries. Now, because it's so hot, I'm finding myself needing to double water. So we water once in the morning time and then once again in the evening when the sun is kind of chilled out a bit because it's too hot for even me to be outside. Now the things I notice need water the most are gonna be carrots, very important. These sunflowers definitely soak up tons of water. Tomatoes appreciate it, but they're doing fine without it. Definitely the strawberries. If you have strawberries, they need their water. And the thing about carrots is they just won't grow enough, I wanted to say fruit, but root to give you a nice carrot if they don't have enough water, and they really don't like the heat that much. Another thing about carrots is they don't want too much nitrogen. So I kind of made the mistake of planting them by my beans this year. So next year I'm not going to do that as much. I'll try to pair things with beans that like tons of nitrogen. Things like sunflowers. Corn is another one that will take in a lot of nitrogen, hence the Three Sisters variety. That's planting corn, waiting until it gets tall enough, then planting beans, and then planting some squash for ground cover, so they all work together. And the corn is a heavy feeder, so it loves what you have to give it nutritional-wise. As I was watering the carrots, I noticed that it looks like something has completely come in and decimated my little crop of carrots. And see, this is why you have to plant so much more than you would originally plan. I used to look up things like how many carrots would I need to feed a family of however for a year, and that stuff is really great and you should definitely plan on that, but that doesn't really account for what you're putting into the ground. That's what you're taking out. So you never know what's going to happen in the garden. I mean, nature is wild. It's what it is, and so it's always good to be prepared. Now I've kind of let my beans go wild on this trellis I have. Alright, Plain, alright. But you can be very precise about trellising beans. It's best to just catch them when they're young and put them exactly where you want. Or you can just let them go hog wild and you'll still probably get beans. Beans are awesome. I love to grow them, and I'm gonna grow so much more. You may not get as much as you think you do, but as soon as you start gardening, you notice it's a lot for the amount of work you put into what you get out. It's good. And each bean pod can be an entirely new plant, which so many more bean pods can grow from. I'm gonna go grab some more water. Now, what I'm most curious about regarding the sunflowers is if they will go to seed, because that's a big reason I want to grow sunflowers, is to have the seeds to plant so many more, because sunflowers are probably, I was gonna say the coolest, they're one of the coolest plants ever, because they take toxins from the ground, heavy metals, bad things you really don't want to be planting your food around, and they soak it up into their leaves. They process it for you. Oh, was that a mosquito? Which honestly, could that be what's causing my sunflowers to droop? It could be. And if that's the case, I'll take it. Something to know about sunflowers though that I didn't know before. People say they are very hungry. I mean, obviously it's gigantic, so it's got to be hungry. It's like you don't want to put a fridge full of all of your snacks in, let's say, your brother's room. So it's like that. These sunflowers will eat and eat and eat. So they say it's best to keep them away from plants that need that nutrients, which is basically every plant. But you can get away with it, and I mean, I'm getting away with it, and I don't really even fertilize that much, but you can get away with it if you're noticing your other plants are getting weaker by fertilizing with compost, manure, whatever kind of fertilizer you have in your garden. Oh, fish stuff like kelp, bone meal, earthworm droppings. I really want to start farming worms. That's my next thing, because I want to have bees. I want to have bees, but I feel like worms is the first step. Like, worms is kind of easy and you don't feel terrible if, well, you know, bad things happen in nature, and it's like a stepping stone. So, oh, I think that was a mosquito, so I'm gonna water the tomatoes and then get the heck out of here. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.